Well, which is a Trump administration? Because it can't be both. Either the Venezuelan government is under the ruthless dictatorship and the thumb and the screws of Maduro, who runs his country, and it's so bad that opposition political party leaders had to be quote unquote rescued as quote unquote hostages, according to Marco Rubio. And or the government is under the control of a narcotics gang, or it's an idyllic place where people can safely return who have been sheltering in the United States under the temporary protective status. It can't be both things. And new reporting coming out of Venezuela, including the Trump administration crowing about a rescue operation, only proves the point that Venezuela is a dangerous place and people shouldn't be forced from America to return there because Kristi Noem says so. See how the inconsistencies in the Trump administration all come home to roost in the courts? Well, I come home to roost right here on the MeidasTouch network. Let's get to it. All right, we got two pieces of information that have come out in the last 24 hours. One, there's a secret memo, now unclassified, that was prepared by the Trump administration at the behest of its own National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard. And that memo, which we've now seen, it's up on the Legal AF Substack, declares once and for all that the national intelligence community that works for Donald Trump does not believe that the Maduro regime is being controlled by a criminal narcotics gang called Tren de Aragua. Yeah, they're there, but there's no command and control where the drug gang or evidence that the drug gang has infiltrated the government and is running the show, or that the Maduro regime is using the criminal gang to conduct war against the United States. So that completely blows the doors off of the argument that and the legal position that the Trump administration has made over and over again in courts throughout the country, including at the United States Supreme Court, that they have the right as an administration and the president has the right to invoke the Alien Enemies Act because we're at war with Venezuela. So take that off the board. And this is all, again, everything I'm talking about right now just happened in the last 24 hours. Next shoe to drop against the Trump administration is this new publicity stunt of extracting from the Argentine consulate in Caracas, Venezuela, 5 members of the opposition party to Maduro. See, it's so dangerous in Venezuela that we had a quote unquote rescue hostages being held for 417 days in the Argentine consulate against pressure from the Maduro regime. We had to get the opposition party members who report ultimately to Maria Corina Machado, who's the opposition party there. We had to get them to safety on U.S. soil somewhere. I'm not sure if the U.S. soil is in America or the U.S. soil is the U.S. consulate, but we got them somewhere. It's a little weird that they're reporting it as U.S. soil, because U.S. soil could be an army base in the region, a military base in the region, or it could even be the consulate for the U.S. We'll get more details, but the point of it is I'm not against rescuing and extracting operations, a la like that great movie Fargo, members that were hiding in the Argentine consulate who are pro-democracy and against the Maduro regime. My point is that is a completely inconsistent position for the Trump administration to take, that everything is fine and idyllic in Venezuela while we have to rescue opposition party leaders so that Maduro's regime doesn't kill them. And if you think I'm overstating the issue, think about 5 human beings, there used to be 6, who decided it was better to go live in an embassy, abandon their families, abandon their loved ones and their life for 417 days, rather than be on the streets subject to the Maduro regime's prosecutions and arrests. Feeling a little stalled out in the bedroom? Through Hims, you can get some gas back in the tank with personalized ED treatment options that are accessible without ever stepping foot into a doctor's office. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable tablets, Viagra, and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% less. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just fill out an intake form on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/legalaf. That's HIMS.com/legalaf for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/legalaf. One of the members, just to show you how dangerous it is in reality in Venezuela, one of the members left, couldn't take it anymore in December. So there were 6. He got picked up and prosecuted by the Maduro regime, and he's now dead. Natural causes or otherwise, the guy no longer exists. So my point is, the more you lean into that story, with Marco Rubio crowing, we just rescued, and it was a successful operation, and all the hostages are home, and it was a precise operation, and you got the opposition party leader, Ms. Machado, thanking the America. Okay, but let's not lose sight of the fact that if things are so bad that we had to just rescue opposition party hostages, it undercuts Kristi Noem's position as Homeland Security Director in all of the court filings that she can end temporary protective status for ordinary Venezuelans because things are just great in Venezuela. Which is it? It can't be both. And it's very easy which it is. Venezuela, let's just put the facts on the table. Venezuela is run by a petty dictator tyrant named Maduro. He sometimes does deals with criminal narcotics gangs in order to bring in revenue into the country besides OPEC oil money. But his government also worries about being toppled by these kind of criminal gangs. And so they don't want to conduct regime change by accident. So that's a fact. They are brutal in how they treat people, especially those that are seen in the opposition party. All of that is true. What is also true is the temporary protective status where we have spread our wings to protect people who because they can't return to their countries because they're war torn, because they're overrun with criminals, murderous criminals, or they are or they're members of the opposition political party. They're not part of the Maduro regime, which obviously the 300,000 or so Venezuelans under temporary protective status in the United States fit the bill. These ordinary Venezuelans in the United States that we had once put under our wings should not be returned to Venezuela, a country so bad and notorious that we just had to rescue opposition people. The ordinary get the same benefits as everybody else, in my opinion. So if I'm litigating this case, and I'm sure the lawyers that are listening and are thinking the same thing, you take these 2 pieces of new factual information, this unclassified memo that says the Venezuelan government is not under the control of Tren de Aragua. You couple it with Marco Rubio bragging about, we rescued the hostages, to then use it in the temporary protective status cases to argue the 300,000 can't go back to Venezuela because a new Secretary of Homeland Security can't revoke the prior Homeland Security's decision, and that was done earlier by Mayorkas under Biden. That's the first thing. And secondly, her decision was arbitrary and capricious and will subject these people to certain death if they return to this regime. That's the argument. I'll continue to follow it right here on the MeidasTouch Network. I'm glad you're here. I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm glad you're here because we're continuing to build, nevertheless, an amazing Legal AF community in collaboration with the brothers of the MeidasTouch Network. Come over to Legal AF, the YouTube channel, Legal AF MTN. We have about a dozen contributors, including our 2 latest, Sidney Blumenthal and and Sean Wilentz, who are our resident historians, putting everything in historical context. I think that Trump administration is doing. I think you'll enjoy that. And then come over to our Legal AF Substack, where we post things like the unclassified memo, court filings, and the rest. And I'm curating that channel as well. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.